Senator Roberts.
Thank you. I take note, as a servant to the many different people who make up our one Queensland community, it's no surprise to One Nation that the Senate is once again debating the lack of government transparency. Transparency in this case being defined as, what's the government hiding this time? Consultation from the Labor Party always stops at 39 votes. Everyone else is on a need-to-know basis. In the case of Senator Davies' document, Discovery, the government has decided the Senate does not need to know. We do not need to know the basis for government policy in a basin that accounts for $22 billion in food and fibre needed to feed and clothe the world. A basin that's home to 2.3 million Australians, including my home state of Queensland. Apparently, we Queenslanders do not need to know what informed Minister Plibersek's water amendment restoring our rivers bill, a bill on which this document Discovery would have cast light. The fundamental failure of the Albanese Government when it talks about consultation is the government's failure to understand that consultation requires disclosure. Already the government has been forced to make 3 pages of amendments to the bill to make it legally workable. How does anyone get a bill that wrong? Refusing to disclose, that's how. Refusing to consult. Consult does not mean a quick whip around the staff room at the CFMEU or asking the lovies at the ABC and the Guardian how to run the country. The Albanese Voice referendum showed the stupidity of asking the Canberra bubble and inner-city socialists what the rest of the country thinks is a fair thing. In real Australia, consulting means listening, sharing and learning. Senator Pauline Hanson and I have consulted with industry stakeholders and toured the basin, starting from Charleville in Queensland all the way to Goolwa in South Australia. I've spoken to independent researchers and even shared a plane for 3 days with Topher Field as we flew over the basin to understand it and film it. I've driven the length of the Murray Darling Basin 3 times, and my staff another 2 times, most recently last Christmas. Along the way, I've listened to amazing farmers displaying a level of resilience that at times is superhuman. I've consulted with Aboriginal people for whom the water in the river is their life, the centre of their culture and the centre of health and happiness. And I've spoken with business owners fearful for their future in an agricultural industry this government is determined to replace with fake food made in urban intensive production facilities. This is an amazing connected river system that has driven prosperity in our beautiful country and can continue to do so. If only we can save it from Labor's inner-city ignorance and ideologically driven policy. Today the Senate will be voting on my motion to prevent the Water Amendment Restoring Our Rivers Bill 2023 from being given further consideration until the Albanese Government properly consults with the states. The Water Act 2007, upon which the Murray-Darling Basin Plan is based, is very clear. The plan is a consensus document of the 4 states. The federal government does not get a vote because it's the servant to the states, not the master of the states. The ACT does not get a vote as it's a territory, not a state. And that's fine, since the ACT clearly runs a federal government anyway. Giving the ACT a vote would be, in fact, 2 votes. The Bill's Digest for the bill contains all the information needed to support my motion. It admits Victoria has refused to sign the new agreement because Victorian farmers have given up enough water already. Good on the Victorian Parliament for standing up for its constituents. Good on New South Wales Premier Chris Minns for being brutally honest in saying the New South Wales Government is only signing up to the $700 million in federal buybacks for water projects, and he is not signing up for water buybacks until after those projects are completed in 2027. The government has no consensus on water buybacks, which are at best 2 all. The rest of the bill contains a lot of good reforms to add accountability, improve measurement and reporting, align spending guidelines and budgets with what is needed, and extending the deadline for completion. The Council of Water Ministers met in August, yet we still have not seen the communication from that meeting. It's now November. It seems clear that the states have not signed off on the bill in toto. I urge the Senate to support my motion to send the bill back to the minister with a clear message. Take out the bits the states do not support, and let's get the rest of this bill, which is almost all of it, through the Senate this sitting. Let's complete the plan, and let's do it properly for a change.